What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen. I'm driving through the city of Fort Worth, which is next to the city of Dallas right now, with my buddy David Fong. Say hello, David.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And I got my wife and kids with me. In this video, guys, you want to say hello, babe?
Hey.
Hey, what's up, guys? So that's my wife, Sassy. So in this video, guys, of this episode of Life-Changing Finance, this video is more for the people that live outside the Western countries. It's more for the people that are from Asia or from Africa, where we have to live, or in the Middle East, where we have to live a very tribal and clan-like lifestyle or custom or culture, okay? So let me share this with you guys first before I explain. The people from Asia, they already know what I'm talking about saving face. And the people in the Western world, it may be a new concept to people in the Western world. So I'll just share with you guys really quick so that you guys understand what this video is about and why we are making this video towards more Asian people than it is for the Western people, okay? So in Asia, we have this concept of saving face that's in our culture, that's deep rooted, okay? So whenever the biggest difference in Asia and the Western countries, one of the biggest differences in culture is that in Asia we have this what's known as the rice paddy culture, where everybody sticks together and works together to create a living. And so there's more of a working together type mentality and more of a working together type mindset that's very prevalent in Asia, because when you grow rice in Asia, everybody has to work together. It's very, very difficult for rice to be grown just by one farmer or one or two or three people. So because of that, it's
well, you're very, very encouraged to sacrifice your own for the greater good.
Yeah. That's a very, very big theme in Asia. And when I say Asia, I'm talking about like China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, around those areas, Indonesia, Malaysia, countries like that. They have this very strong cultural mindset that everyone needs to work together. And the advantage of that is that if they need to build something on a large scale in Asia, on a grand scale that benefits everyone, Asia is, in my opinion, significantly better at organizing people and pulling the people together to do that than in the Western countries, okay? And that's just a personal opinion. It's not a fact or nothing like that. It's just a personal opinion, just because of the mindset that everybody grows up in Asia. They're just cultured and they're just trained to just work together from the very beginning, from young. So, and also because Asia grows up in a very, what we call a patriarchal society, meaning that the grandfather has if you live in Asia, the emperor has the say-so, and then whoever runs the city has the say-so, and then whoever's in charge of that province, and then the city, and then the mayor, and then in your household, the grandfather has the say-so, and then your dad, and then your uncle, and your older brother, and then you. So it's a patriarch, means that it's from patri means father or men, and arch means ruling. So that's just the way that's my interpretation of it, is patriarch. You know, if I have it wrong, don't jump on my ass about it. Just get the drift of what I'm talking about, okay? So it's from top down. And the way that Asian culture is set up is that you don't question the person that's above you. So let's just say that I'm older than David, right? I'm in my mid-40s now. David, how old are you?
41.
Yeah, he's 41, so I'm about 5 years older, 4 or 5 years older than David. So because of that, it's traditional in our culture that if I say something, hey, this is how it should be done, then he doesn't question me, because in Asian culture he would be considered the younger brother, right? And since Leon is like, what, 1 year older than you?
I think we're the same age, couple months. I think he's a little bit older.
Yeah, he's a little bit older by a few months, and just because Leon is older in our Asian culture, it's understood that his say-so or his word has more value and more precedence and more status than David is. Even if David is the one that has more experience, let's say that we're all traders and David is the more experienced trader than me and David, or knows technical analysis better. In our culture, if we live in Asia, he would not dare say that in front of me and Leon, just because that's just how the culture works.
I wouldn't go against it.
He would be very rude. It would consider very crass and very rude of David to even say that in public or behind our backs, that, you know what, we're all traders on our channel, but I'm the one that's better in technical analysis than Ty and Leon is. That would be like completely out of place. And then especially if that was his, if Leon was his uncle, or he would never say that to someone that's his uncle or his dad or his grandfather, because that would be considered blasphemy, simply because of the patriarchal society, that when someone's at a higher status than you are, you don't dare say something like that. Okay?
Yeah, it's very common for parents to say, oh, make sure you respect your elders, make sure whenever you enter the home, say hello to the grandfather, the grandmother. It's very important that you show respect.
Yeah, so in Asia, your age carries more weight than your actual skill and your knowledge or your experience, like it does in the Western world. Like in the Western world, nobody gives a shit how old you are. All they care about is that, can you do the task or not? Like when someone like Mark Zuckerberg, because he's a multi-billionaire, then nobody in America cares how old he is. All they care is that he's a multi-billionaire and he started a multi-billion-dollar company and he's worth billions of dollars, and he has the skill, the computer skills, the background, and the money to verify that. Okay, so someone like Mark Zuckerberg, that's a multi-billionaire and has a multi-billion-dollar business, if he was growing up in Asia and he enters a family, he would still have to respect the elders in that family or that house or whatever it is that he visits, despite the fact that he knows how to make money and much better than anybody that's in that house. He still has to show them courtesy. And that's just how the culture works. That's not how we want it to work. That's just Asian culture. Okay, so this concept of saving face means that you never do anything that embarrasses you in that status, or in that position that you're at in the hierarchy in Asian culture. So if I'm here and my grandfather's up here, my dad's here, and then I'm here, and then my younger brothers are here, then I don't want to do anything or say anything or that takes me out of that status, okay? Because it's considered very shameful and it's very embarrassing, okay? So I'll give you guys several examples for the people in the West that may not be familiar with this saving face concept in Asia, right? For example, let's just say that my grandfather has a PhD, right, or a college degree, and then my uncle has a college degree. Let's say my grandfather has a PhD, my dad has a master's, or my uncle has a bachelor's in college, and then my younger brother has a bachelor's degree, and all my younger brothers have a college degree, and I'm the only one, the older brother, that does not have a college degree. That would be considered very embarrassing. That why is it that all the men in my family have a college degree? Put your seatbelts on, right? And then why do all my younger brothers have a college degree and I don't? So that right there would be very
shameful,
very shameful and very dishonorable and things like that. So because of that, I would do, if I was living in Asia, I would do whatever I could to try to get a college degree, just so that I don't look out of place, because my younger brothers expect me to have a college degree also if they have a college degree, and then my my father, my uncle, my grandfather, they also expect me to have a college degree if they have a college degree, and my younger brothers have a college degree. And it would be very dishonorable for our clan or our tribe or our village that I don't have a college degree. So
and your parents would be very, very ashamed to even talk about you.
Yeah. And so if we go out into the public, right, and my younger brothers or my uncles, my dad, my parents, and everybody, it's very shameful that they're not able to talk about me in a good light simply because I don't have a college degree. And especially if it's at a formal setting or a formal party or things like that, where there's a lot of, you might want to slow down here and check out all the houses along the way. So there might, in a formal setting or a formal environment, right? Look at all the size of these houses, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
These are nice.
Yeah. So let me just give you guys a look at the houses we're shopping for here, right? So because of that, guys, it's considered very dishonorable if I don't have that. So even if I own one of these houses right here, these are about like 4,000 to 6,000 square foot homes.
Yeah, 3-car garages.
Yeah, these are considered like a wealthy neighborhood here in south of Fort Worth. So if you guys look at the size of these houses, they're gigantic. Okay. So anyway, that's what we want to share with you guys about, right? This concept of saving face. That's why in Asia, if you do something in the past that we consider very dishonorable, people commit ritual suicide and things like that because they don't want to be the one that brings shame to the entire family or to the entire clan, okay, or the entire tribe or the entire house. Okay, that would be considered very, very shameful. So because of that, people do whatever they can. We'll go down to the end and then we'll drive back so you can see both sides. So people will do whatever they can in Asia, the best that they can to save face so that they don't have that shame in themselves and their family and their lineage and their clan line, okay? So that's why you have people that if they do something considered dishonorable, they'll just commit suicide, ritual suicide, and kill themselves instead of dishonoring or shaming the entire clan line. Okay, so if I come from the Zen family, if I do something dishonorable, I either leave the village, leave the city, or in the past where people still do ritual suicides, I would just commit suicide or something just to bring honor to my clan and my family, right?
And this is like, as opposed to admitting that you need help or admitting that you failed and you're going to try again, right? You would rather choose ritual suicide over dishonorable things like that.
Yeah. So because of this, the reason why we are making this video and sharing this with you guys is because this is a very deep-rooted cultural mindset in the Asian community. And we still experience some of that when we deal with our Asian parents and our Asian elders and things like that. More so with David than myself, okay? Because I'm just a knucklehead, so I guess it affects me a lot less, right? But what happens is, we're sharing this, that if you're an Asian person, right, and you're watching our videos and you're following us and you want to know how we got to where we're at today, right, one of the things, right, is, so I'm going to show, I want you guys to see the size of these houses in Texas here for what you can get for $400,000 or $500,000. These houses, they are in the $400,000 to $500,000 range right here. These massive castles here that are 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 square foot. Okay, they're huge. They're beautiful inside too, gorgeous. Okay, but anyway, what happens is whenever you do this, right? It's very, very difficult for a lot of Asian men, okay, to capitalize on the blockchain space and the cryptocurrency space, because they're always concerned about having shame or losing face inside the Asian family or inside the Asian culture or within their circle. So inside the Asian community, you don't often see people stepping outside of their norm, right? Or the standard, go to school, make straight A's, get a good job, and do things like that. That's why we don't have such a big community, right? Such a big, what do you call that? Such a big place you don't have companies like Google or Facebook or Amazon or things like that pop up out of Vietnam or out of Japan or out of Asia or things like that. Those are the efforts. Those are usually the efforts of a large groups of people that come together. It's rare that you have individuals that do that because nobody in the Asian culture wants to step outside of the normal bounds of convention and tradition and culture and try something new, because they're so afraid that if they do that, right, they would get laughed at, they would get shamed at, and they're so scared of failure if they try something in the blockchain space, that if they fail, that their community, their friends, their colleagues, their co-workers would laugh at them and make fun of them and shame them in front of the rest of the community. Okay, so because of that, you don't have a large supply of Asians that are getting into the crypto space in America. Okay, well, not just America, but just in general in business, and I use this blockchain space, right? But in general, it's just not common. That's why you see a lot of engineers at the tech companies like Facebook and at Google and places like that. You see a ton of tech Asian people working there as software engineers and engineers, electrical engineers and things like that. But you don't see too many of them wanting to branch off and start their own startups and things like that. There are. I'm not saying there isn't, but you would expect that since there's a large number of Asian people working in these tech companies and are building the software and understand how it works, you would think that it's natural that there would be more of them that go off on their own and start up their own businesses in the tech industry. But we don't see too many of that, and it's because of this concept of trying to save face in their community that they won't do it. Okay, so I know a number of Asian people who want to get into cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, blockchains, and things like that in the last 4 or 5 years, and they won't do it because they're afraid that other people might laugh at them at work. They don't want to be seen as the respected, senior engineer, the respected director at a company, and be seen talking about Bitcoins or cryptocurrencies, even though they are 1,000 times more qualified than I will ever be. Okay, I'm not one of those Asian guys that's smart in math and science like David and like all the other real Asian guys. Okay, there's guys that work at Dell and work at Microsoft and work at Google and things like that are 1,000 times smarter than I can ever imagine to be in math, in science, in computer science, but they're so scared to dive into the blockchain space because for fear of losing face in their community. Okay? You have anything to add to that?
Just to echo that, that's absolutely true. You don't want to step out of the norm, what is expected of you. You're kind of expected to follow this track of getting a nice, safe job and providing for your family, and that's taking risk is frowned upon. Yeah. Right?
And the reason why I'm sharing this video with you guys is that I want to share with you, if you're one of those Asian guys that follow our channel, and there's always that spark or that inkling or that thought in your mind, right, of ever becoming to go and try something new, whether it's a business startup, a tech startup, or any kind of business. I don't give a shit if it's a laundromat, okay, or in the blockchain space. I'm making this video to encourage you to go do it. I encourage you not to be scared, not to worry about what other Asian people think around you, because at the end of the day, they don't fucking pay your bills. And I hate to say it like that, but the Asian community, They're so scared of what other Asian people are gonna think, and those other fucking Asian people don't pay their fucking bills, and don't pay their bills, don't pay for their college, don't pay for their mortgage, don't pay for their car payments, don't pay for their food and their utilities, but they're so concerned about what those other Asian people think, okay? Who gives a rat's ass what they think? At the end of the day, the only person that I care about what thinks about me is my wife behind me and my 2 kids right there, okay? Why? Because those are the people at the end of the day who care about me, and they're my family, okay? Everybody else, ain't none of them gonna pay my bills, right? When I was struggling and I was at the bottom and I had no money, when I grew up in the hood and I grew up in the ghetto, there was not one motherfucker that ever came and loaned me $1 or try to help me build better credit or show me how to make money, right? And the same thing goes for you. And you guys might hear me be passionate about this concept about who gives a shit about saving face, okay? Is because this is like one of the biggest roadblocks and one of the biggest hurdles that holds Asian people back from succeeding in the crypto, the blockchain space, and just business in general, and even in America, okay? So I want to share that with you guys to inspire you guys, to motivate you guys to get off your ass and go follow your dreams. If you have a dream of building an ICO, of building a crypto project, or building a tech startup, or whatever, I encourage you guys to go do it. Who gives a shit if you fail? If you fail, learn from it again and do it all over again. Since I've been making this video, David has driven around the model home that we're looking for 4 times already, I think, right? 4 times I counted it, right? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. He found it on the 4th try, okay? And that's the same thing in business, you know? Who gives a shit if you fail 3 or 4 times? But that one time that you succeed, you'll be there, okay? So now, I could have sat here and laughed at him like, oh, hi, you idiot, you know, you drove around the same model home 3 or 4 times. Who gives a shit? If it takes him 3 times, 3 mistakes before he finds it, right? Somebody else, it may only take 4 mistakes to find it. Somebody else, it may take 10 times before they find it. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, as long as you get to where you want to be, that's all that matters, okay? So
embrace your failures. Honestly, don't be afraid of your failures. That's exactly how you learn. That's it.
Share about some of the things that your parents have tried to do to you in the past to try to shame you.
It's not so much that they did anything conscious that was malicious or anything, but it's just the culture that they grew up in. Just it always encouraged you to kind of make the safe play. Yeah. Right? Pick this safe path here. It's going to get you to a nice, secure income.
Hey, talk about how when you were making a steady income at Microsoft and other companies you worked at, but inside your gut, you always wanted to venture out and do a startup on your own, and how hard that was, and how you finally overcame that. Maybe it'll help other Asian people. Because see, I grew up in the projects, right? When you grow up flat ass broke and you don't have a penny in your pockets, it doesn't really freaking matter what you do. If you suck, you fail, it doesn't matter because you weren't gonna be any more broke than being broke already. When you got $0 in your pocket, doing something and then failing at it ain't gonna, what's the difference? You already got $0. That's the mindset that I always had. But David, his family, he had an opportunity to go to college, finish college, come out, work out.
Yeah, I mean, I basically, I felt like the first maybe 25 years of my life were just basically on rails. Basically, there was a plan here: go to school, get good grades, get into a good program. And I got to tell you, like, I love my parents, okay? And they did everything they could to encourage me to do the best thing that I could. And I followed what I thought was my interest as well, right? But it was still go to school, get this job. At the time, tech was really, really popular and was up and coming. So that's lucky on my part. But once I got into the job, it was basically, okay, cool. I have this nice, stable job. It has, great benefits. It's paying my bills.
The American dream.
Yeah, that's right. And, I got a house, got my car, I had some disposable income, but there was just something inside of me that just didn't feel like, wow, is this it? Is this what it's all about? And I felt like there was this ceiling, but we also had this expression called the golden handcuffs, in that I had these stock options that as long as I stayed at the company,
you're locked in.
You're locked in, and the longer you stayed, the more they gave you.
Yeah,
right?
to lock you in further.
So I honestly felt like I was stuck in the matrix.
A prison without bars. At least the prison I went to, it had bars in it, I can see it. Prison you were in, you didn't see no bars.
Right. So it was just, for me, I always had this angst about, wow, I'm just kind of working for this company, and it's a huge, huge campus.
Yeah.
I mean, I was literally a small gear in this gigantic 40,000, 50,000 campus of folks.
You were nobody there. You were not going to amount to nobody. You were just a cog in the wheel. Just like in the Matrix, just another battery in the system.
Another battery, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I just for me, it was just all this angst that was kind of built up and built up and built up. And the thing that kind of pushed it over the top for me was when I got this 10-year award for being there. So it was a nice shiny crystal that said, "Hey, congratulations, attaboy, you've made us money.
Good job.
For the past 10 years, you've created these patents, you've designed some wonderful software. Keep at it. Keep staying here." So I don't know. I just didn't want the rest of my life to continue to be on rails, and so that kicked off this whole period of introspection for me, where I really had to think about what did I want to do with my life. And from then, I basically, it was tough. It was really, really tough because I could just go to work 9 to 5, keep my head down, just work on what I started feeling like the same old stuff over and over again, and just collect this paycheck, right? I don't think I would ever be super, super mega rich, right? But I'd always have this security blanket. I'd always be able to pay my mortgage. I'd always be able to,
It's not always, man, because they can sell out to another company or be bought out or cut, just any time.
Yeah, it was actually a false sense of security because when hard times came, there were cuts. There were absolutely cuts. Thousands of people at a time. This whole division is just, chopped off. So that's when I just started embracing more freedom. And that's when I really started investing in developing my own trading and investing skills.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I decided I needed to take hold and actually control my own destiny rather than have it be dependent on somebody else.
Yeah, and not. And what about the shame or the guilt or the concern about what your colleagues would think when you leave?
It was always this. It's like, oh wow, okay. To be completely honest, we shared, like me and my colleagues, we actually shared similar feelings, but it was always, oh, but I have a family, I have kids, I have these things that this stable, secure income is going to get for me. I mean, it was hard to even talk to anybody about considering leaving. And what that would mean. Right, and branching out into this great unknown that was fraught with hazards, and I didn't want to consider coming back to Microsoft with my, just my tail between my legs.
Yeah, and kind of share because we just finished or almost finished our company tax returns, and then now that a year later, right? How do you feel about it now?
Oh my goodness, it's.
When you look at the income and balance statements and everything for our business.
So what I thought of, starting out a new business, all that fear, all that unknown of how much am I going to get? I was getting a stable salary that I could expect every other week. After doing our taxes, and oh my God, it was actually a huge pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But I realized as a business owner, at the end of the line. So in our bootcamp, we talk about, you're being at the front of the line as a contractor doing a job, you'll get paid, or
you get the certainty
of getting that regular paycheck if you perform that task, if you show up and you do that job, versus the uncertainty of being a business owner, being at the end of the line after paying all of the
Employees, all the staff.
all the expenses, then seeing what that's what you get if you get anything at the end of the year. Now that we've completed our taxes, I'm looking at the final tally, and it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah, you made enough to. Well, we don't have to go into exact numbers, but he looked at it and his eyes like lit up. When he realized that, what, the risk that he took
All
to
that
go
fear,
and
it was
do the
unfounded.
startup with us, with me and Leon, was unfounded for, and that now, that just cranked out like several years worth of income that he would have previously had.
And I would never have taken that risk if I was just stuck in that mentality of, all right, let's just keep this safe. I don't want to tell anybody.
Save face.
Yeah, save face. Still have the good job. In the big company, right? That's what a lot of Asians want to see, right? Oh, you're doing good.
You're working at Microsoft.
Yep.
You're working at Facebook. You're working at Google. That's a prestigious company.
Yeah, but now I just don't. I feel so much better, and I feel more relieved that. I took the red pill instead of the staying in the blue pill.
Yeah, the red pill means stop. It means putting a stop to all the bullshit that society has fed us into to put us into what he calls, being on rails, to go in a one-track mind, one-track direction, and just do what the man says. Okay, that's what means to be on rails. Is that you're like a sheep that just go. Okay, go to school, get a job, 9 to 5, do this, and that's it. And be happy with it. Don't try to venture out to do something new. Don't try to take a risk of going and pursuing your dreams, your business dreams, your life, and everything else. The red pill signifies a stop sign, that you put a stop to all that bullshit and take control of your life. Stop worrying about losing face. Who gives a shit? I had a motherfucker tell me one time my teeth was crooked. Fuck him. I had one of my boss tell him my teeth was crooked. Wow, he had a fucking, he's cross-eyed, and he's sitting there telling me I got crooked teeth. Fuck him. Who gives that shit?
Yeah, that's his
problem. At the
problem.
end of the day, he ain't paying my bills. When my kids are sick, he's not taking them to the hospital. When I have a heart attack, he's not there helping me put stents in my heart or paying to put stents in my heart, right? At the end of the day, it's all about you, your wife, your kids, and the people that you love, and that's all. Their opinion is all that matters. Not all these goofballs that troll on you, that say negative shit, and try to hold you down and make you a sheep, okay? So, I just want to share this video with you guys. Thanks for watching it. If you want to learn more about creating life-changing money and life-changing finance and life-changing profits in your life, make sure you go to www.cryptocurrency.market/newsletter and subscribe to our newsletter. Follow me on Twitter at HeyTaiZen, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching this, guys.